guys, this is Chase with Miles Together Co. Back with another Trail Talk episode. Going through some logistics and see if you like this trail that Jen and I did a couple weeks ago. Okay then, so the trail that we did was Grayson Highlands Loop, which isn't a trail itself, it's multiple trails combined. So it is right over the North Carolina border into Virginia. It's right where this 12 is. We live outside of Charlotte area, and I feel like it looks pretty far, but it is not a long drive. It was about a little over 2 hours, and to get anywhere in the Smokies takes close to 3 to 5, depending on where you're going. For example, this spot took us 3 hours to get to. You just shoot right up the highway. It's pretty easy. And I would assume it's the same for Raleigh or Greensboro. So, although not North Carolina, don't sleep on it. So let's zoom in. We started at Fox Creek Trailhead. When I first found this trail, it wanted me to start and park around somewhere in the state park, but I didn't know, so I just couldn't really figure out what the ruling is with parking in the state park, so I didn't really want to mess with it. And then because of that, I kind of made my own loop-ish. I added this whole section, but besides that, it's pretty similar to what is on all trails already, or if you click on it, it might even pop up on mine. Yeah, no, it doesn't. But yeah, all trails has a lot of stuff in this area, and for a reason. It is pretty. But I know that parking is pretty easy in National Forest area, so we parked over here at Fox Creek Trailhead, and you basically take the Appalachian Trail 90% of the way until you get around here somewhere. Let's see if I could zoom in somewhere. Right here. So I think this is where it kind of turns off. Because of alternates and fire closure, or because of Hurricane Helene, I believe this may be part of that AT this year. I'm not sure, so don't hold me to that. Basic overview is that it is about 21 miles long, depending on what you do and if you want to take extra. Our plan for this was to do it in one night, and we camped around here right on the border of the state park because we didn't know this at the time, but you cannot camp within the state park, but there's a ton of campsites right outside of it, pretty good ones, so we camped right there. Just an overview of the first day, all pretty wooded, and then once you get kind of up to this area, which I could show you on the satellite, great views, absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, you can kind of tell when you get into more of the meadows and you pop out of the woods out of nowhere, and then you go through a funny gate. You're like, I don't know if this is the right way, but it is. And then you start to see some wildlife here. You may know this or not, but there's wild ponies and bulls, longhorns in this area, which is actually crazy. Super cool to see. So we saw our first ponies and horses in this area. The first day is a lot less crowded and pretty chill. Some good views. But then once you get into day 2, you kind of do this side of the loop. There's definitely more crowds. This whole area, really this whole area is crowded. But not too bad. Like there's some trails, where it's annoyingly crowded and you can't walk. It's got its people, but it's a good culture, a lot of friendly people want to talk. It's on the AT, and I think we ran into two section hikers, which was really cool, and talked to them for a while. The only warning with it being on the AT is you probably don't want to do it, or maybe you do, when the through hikers are going through there. If the bubble is going through that section, it could be really crowded and maybe hard to find places to camp. I'm not sure. but that's only for a specific couple weeks of the year. So besides that, there's nothing to really worry about. But because it's a little crowded, it's got a cool culture. Like, it was really fun to actually have the social aspect, which you don't always get. And let's see if I can show you. Yeah, this is all just like gorgeous views all the way around, going through here. Somewhere through here is the Fat Man Squeeze, which is a famous part of the AT. So is the Grayson Highlands in general because of all the wild horses and bulls and stuff. So it's pretty cool to see that. Like a highlight of a thru hiker, or one of them, is usually going through this area. Just to show you the elevation profile, so you get an idea of how hard it is. No, only one little spot of red, not much. An orange maybe. Start out uphill like most hikes, pretty up and down. Honestly, very chill. No like super strenuous parts. You're gonna go up and down like a hike, and it's gonna be you're gonna be out of breath a few times, obviously, but definitely not as challenging as some of the hikes we've done in the past. So besides that, I mean, not much else to it. I'll put the address or the coordinates of the trailhead on the caption so you could read it if you want. Yeah, just so you have an idea, our camping area right here was about 7.5 miles into the trail going this way, which left us about 13.5 the second day. Depending on like your schedule and stuff, we went Friday night, so we didn't have too much time. You could probably get creative with where you camp. There's more than campsites than just this spot, so don't restrict yourself to where we camped. Water's pretty much everywhere, not too bad, except for like the super high highland parts, like this area and like right on top. But as long as you kind of look, it's really not bad. I don't have it marked even because I wasn't really worried. Like towards the end I got it marked here, and there's much more than I thought. And I think that's all I have for you guys. I want to keep it a little shorter than the last one. Hopefully I did. I'm not positive. And it's a really cool hike. You should check it out. Our next video is us actually hiking it, so you get to see the views we saw and maybe entice you more to see it. So thank you, and stay tuned to the next video. See you.